Haribol.
Big smiles, happiness. Those of us that went to Sadhu Sangha, we're still buzzing from it. Sadhu Sangha. Sangha means the association of sadhus. So we got to associate with many sadhus. Could you get me a glass of water?
Yes, sir.
So this means we seek out the association of saintly persons. You know, if you want to be a rascal, you have to seek out the association of rascals. Thank you. Some people accuse me of that because I associate with so many rascals. They think you want to be a rascal.
I'm sorry, Judy, do you want me to leave?
I did drop the hint, didn't I? No, we're all rascals. We're trying to become unrascals. So, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. That kirtan sounded pretty great. Another big round of applause. If we can just remember to be enthusiastic in our pursuit of spiritual life, we have to have enthusiasm. Why do we need that? Because it pleases Krishna. Krishna likes when he sees that you're not going to use the other mic.
It's broken.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the mail. We have a new one in the mail.
Yeah, we have the worst luck with sound things here, you know.
I think it's the Hare Krishna movement in general.
No, it's really not. I go to India, third world country, India. No problems. No problems. Everything works. And I think I hurt his feelings. Should have fixed it before. Anyway, you can fix it now. We'll wait. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.
This will work better. I don't know. It's been kind of.
Should have put that one on first, don't you think?
Well, it was Jane Fine. I was eating kirtan.
We could get a round done here.
Yeah, why don't we? Actually, Krishna Charan does that in El Paso. He starts out with a one chance around. That's kind of a cool idea.
Huh.
You know. So.
That's a neat sound. I like that.
Yeah, let's we'll make a recording of all these unique sounds that we're hearing, you know. All right, let's try this again. Hello, everyone. How is everybody? Boy, we're still feeling the buzz from Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, what is that? That is an association of those who are sadhus or devotees, those who are enthusiastic to become devotees of Krishna. Why is enthusiasm important? I already said that. Does anybody remember? Why is it important? Because it pleases Krishna. Krishna likes to see you enthusiastic in your pursuit of your devotional service. Enthusiastic. Prabhupada used to talk about the art of doing a thing perfectly. Because we're so enthusiastic to please Guru and Krishna, we make sure that we do things very nicely and enthusiastically. We try to get things accomplished. Regulation plus freedom equals happiness. How can that even work? Are you catching on to this? Regulation plus freedom. What's that called? An oxymoron? I hope we're not. Are there any morons in here that were offended? Okay, sorry. Are there any oxys? I'm offending the oxys and the morons, but there are more morons in here than there are oxys. I always think of Bugs Bunny when he would say, "What a maroon." You know, always thought he was talking about me, and I kind of think he was. So, regulation plus freedom. But aren't they like on different sides of the coin? Regulation. Do you want to be regulated or do you want to be free? Huh?
Both.
We all want to be free. Why we talk about that? Why, especially in the good old USA, we talk about freedom a lot, you know. And there are many freedoms that we have in America that aren't available to other countries, but not as many as we wave the flag and say. I mean, it's just as free most places. So long as you stay out of trouble. If you get in trouble in some countries, you don't have the right to remain silent. Like in Britain, you don't have the right to remain silent. I mean, you might remain silent. It's not that they're going to beat you up, but nobody's going to tell you you have the right to remain silent. You see? So, but in America, we have that right. We have that freedom. So, but how can regulation and freedom go hand in hand? Doesn't make any sense. So I wrote some notes here. Through the sincere pursuit of spiritual life, we can achieve some level of peace and happiness. However, God, I hate that. Don't you, that word? Sometimes, however, it's just like, you had me going there with peace and happiness, and now there's this however. However, one can still fall from grace and find oneself once again suffering the pains of material existence. You mean it's just not a cakewalk all the way? I mean, it is. It can be, but it's up to you. Once you start this pursuit and have some success in spiritual life, what do we have to do to maintain that? Because we can sometimes be going like this and all of a sudden, it's like, there was bad weather in Texas. There was, on my way to the airport Tuesday morning, there were trees in the road. There was a tornado had come through and knocked over trees. And so we're going like this, to hurry to get to the airport. Only to find that the plane was like delayed for 5 hours. So, so we hurried through the downed trees. But you get in the air and it's pretty shaky. There's a lot of turbulence around Dallas, and so we're doing this kind of thing. So sometimes in our upward pursuit of spiritual life, we run into some turbulence, don't we? We sometimes, all of a sudden, there's challenges. It gets a little shaky, you see. So we have to learn how to deal with that. Hare Krishna, Mother Lavanga, good to see you. It's especially good to see you. Are you an oxy or a moron? And we had a vote before and you weren't here.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Most people that voted for you said you were moronic. So. Of course, I defended you.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah. You can always count on it. So, yeah, we can make some progress, but then we can all of a sudden run into some turbulence and we can start to lose altitude. I'm still on the airplane here, so bear with me. We did lose some altitude. The plane all of a sudden is just like going like this, When something is falling, when the airplane is falling, all of a sudden everything becomes weightless. You know, so for a while there, we were all kind of weightless. You know, so that was interesting. And I was thinking, this is like this pursuance of spiritual life. We're going along fine, then all of a sudden there's turbulence, and then all of a sudden there's this downfall. So, what causes this in spiritual life? What causes us to lose altitude? So, Krishna's going to tell us. He's going to give us the answer here. So, we're going to talk about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, text, actually chapter 2, text 62 through 66. Very interesting words from Krishna. So, what causes us to lose altitude? Krishna says in verse 62, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Wow, this is kind of a mouthful, isn't it? By contemplating the sense objects for my own enjoyment. I want to enjoy something or whatever for me. So I start to contemplate the sense objects. After a while of contemplating the sense objects, I develop some attachment. Wow, that looks like it would be fun. I think I want that. I think I really want to do that, or I want more of what I'm contemplating. So we don't always get. You can't always get what you want. So we can't always get it right away, can we? I mean, a lot of times we just can't. So, but that lust is already there. I want it. So when lust is there, I want it. I'm contemplating. I've already taken mental possession of it. Now I'm realizing that either I'm not going to get it or there's going to be a delay. So now I'm upset. I'm angry. You see how this works? It's all worked on all of us, hasn't it? Started out, I was just contemplating something that was going to be really kind of groovy. I don't know if you guys use that word still, but I like it. It's from the 60s, so leave me alone. I like it. You like groovy? No, it's cool. I like that one too.
Awesome.
I don't do awesome. No, I don't do awesome. The only thing that I've ever seen that was awesome was Madhava and Mayapur, Kalachandji and Dala. I can go on. Now that's awesome. Everything else is just awesome wannabe. Or somebody misusing a word just to be cool, to be groovy. There's nothing awesome about that, but it's awesome, You see, ever ask somebody, how are you today? How's your day going? Awesome! Wow. Did you see Kalachandji or something? What? And I've even taken some time when I have it to ask them, gee whiz, what is so awesome about your day? Well, so it's really just an okay day, but you had to throw in the awesome just to make me, I don't know. So, but anyway, contemplation. I'm starting out by contemplating the sense objects. I want something. I get attached to it. It's not coming right away. This lust of mine is burning. I want it. I realize I'm not going to get it. Now I'm angry. So from lust, anger arises. So now I wanted it. I got lusty for it. Can't get it. Now I'm pissed off. Has that ever happened to you?
Never did.
I was going to say, has it happened today to anybody here, It probably has, most of us. So, Text 63. So remember, now we're angry because we couldn't get it. We started to lust for it. It didn't come. Now I'm really upset. So from anger, complete delusion arises. You ever had that happen? You ever get so mad that you just kind of like lose it? And you find yourself doing or saying something I shouldn't have said. Man, I wish I hadn't said that. I'm sorry I said that. I didn't mean it. It sure sounded like you meant it when you said it. Oh, no, I really didn't. I was angry. Oh, you were angry. Well, we forgive you then. So is that should we just forgive them because, well, you got angry? Oh, the world should have stepped aside because you were upset. We wouldn't want you to remain upset. So your complete delusion arises. From delusion, bewilderment of memory. I told you that I wanted to do this and that. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. So then there's arguments. This happens all the time, doesn't it? You know. So you got bewilderment of memory. Now, I don't remember. I'm so upset. I don't think I remember the timeline when you said you were going to do that or you were going to meet me or whatever. I don't remember the timeline because I'm upset. Delusion of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. You see how this works? This is real life. Krishna is telling us reality. This happens to all of us. It happens to all of us probably a little too much, you know? It's kind of like, it all started with what? Contemplation of the sense objects. So I'm in the midst of all this turbulence and I started it in my mind because I started to contemplate some sense object for me, for my own enjoyment. So I got myself into this turbulence. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. I lost intelligence. I got upset, I was contemplating, I'm lusty, lost my intelligence. So fall down into the material pool. So it can happen to any and all of us. So Krishna goes on, but there's encouragement. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through the regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. What does regulation have to do with freedom? You ever thought about that? This doesn't make sense, but yet Krishna is saying that. The regulative principles of freedom. Because when we practice the regulative principles, we become free from the pangs of material existence. There's some discussion all throughout the Vedas on this being available to us immediately. But we can't hold on to it. We get it immediately. As soon as we start to practice devotional service, chant Hare Krishna, we get this wonderful feeling, you see. But then we start to continue thinking of ourselves as the body, even if it's subtle. So then I'll contemplate something for my senses. And that always ends the same way. Bewilderment of memory, delusion, anger, even if it's on a small scale. Now, sometimes we get to the point where we've done it enough that we can catch it early in the game, right? I know some of you here are with me on this, right? You catch it. You're contemplating sense objects, starting to develop a little bit of attachment. You feel lust creeping up, and then you say, wait, no, stop. My dear mind, stop. Put it in reverse, back it up. I'm not going to go down this route. You see, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get out of my devotional mood that I was in. Well, I was thinking of Krishna. Something caught my eye, and I thought, hey, that would really be, hold on now, get back on the road. Get your eyes back on the road before we run into the ditch. You see? Now, it's okay to contemplate objects of the senses if you want to offer them to Krishna. It's okay. That's different. So you may be thinking, yeah, but what about Ma? What about me? I want to contemplate the objects of the senses for my own enjoyment. So that's the area that we need to go into our mental hard drive, our brain. We need to fix that, because that is just not true. It's not correct thinking. But I want it for me. I will enjoy it if I get it. It doesn't work that way. Sorry to break the bubble. Just because I want it and I get it doesn't mean I get enjoyment. I may get a little bit, but it may be just like that, or it could be a little longer, but ultimately it's going to cause some difficulty. Ultimately, it's not going to give me pleasure. You see, that which tastes sweet in the beginning tastes bitter in the end. I saw it, I wanted it, I got it. After a little while, now what's next? What else you got? I got the iPhone 14. I felt super. I was the first one on my block to get it. Everybody was like, wow, dude, is that like a 14? Why, yes, it is. Then after a while, somebody shows up with a 15.
Man.
Yeah, man, if this hasn't happened to you yet, it will. So you see, you get it. It seems great for a little while, but then all of a sudden, it's not so great. I remember thinking the other day that my brand new van is 9 years old now. Boy, I've always thought of it as my new van. I've driven it around. It's got over 100,000 miles. But all of a sudden I realized, man, this is not a new car. Wow, time has taken it away from me. I once had a new car, but time took it away. I tried to keep it new. So, you see, I got it, I wanted it, and now it's not what I wanted it to be anymore. So this is the nature of the material energy. You may get it, but you can't keep it. It doesn't satisfy very long. You see, spiritual pursuits give you eternal satisfaction. You see, it's just like we were talking. We were at Sadhu Sangha. Some of us were at Sadhu Sangha. Sorry. I just had a mean, I can't help it. So next year you'll go and they'll have to stay. So, and we're still buzzing from it. You come home and it comes home with you. It stays with you. With just a little bit of effort, you can keep it with you eternally. That feeling of being around all these saintly people and this kirtan, be dazzled by the kirtan all day, every day. You see, it doesn't take a whole lot. And you don't have to pray real hard to Krishna to keep this moment. Krishna wants you to say, Krishna, can I stay here in this moment? Why, of course. Why, sure. He wants you in that moment because that's when you're sane. You're coming out of the insane, temporary, illusory material world. You see, Krishna likes it when you're enthusiastically attached to the performance of devotional service and the pursuit of spiritual life. He opens doors for you. He makes it easy for you. So, the regulative principles of freedom. If we follow the regulative principles, we're freed from the illusory energy. The illusory energy is always saying, hey, wouldn't you like to have that? Don't you want one of these? Wouldn't you like some of this or some of that? And you don't have always the ability to say, no, I don't want that. You're kind of like, well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe not, but let's give it a shot anyway. You know? So the regulative principles free you from the material energy. No, I don't go there. I'm regulated. That gives me freedom. If you're not regulated, you're bound by the desires of the senses. It's just as simple as that. If you can escape that, then you're free. Doesn't it work that way? And freedom is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful feeling to know that I'm free. You see? And then, you can travel through this material world, but you feel like, it's kind of like, this salad dressing that they have. It's like it's part oil and some lemon juice and stuff like that. And so the lemon juice is floating on top of the oil, isn't it? So you can take that and shake it up real hard. And as soon as you stop, you're looking at where you're going to pour it, and you look and it's separated. It doesn't mix. It does for a second, but then it. So you'll be like that when you travel through this material world. You may be laid over in an airport or stuck here or stuck there or associating with people that you normally wouldn't want to associate with. But you're like that lemon juice floating on top of the oil. You're not mixed with it. You see, you're still who you are. The material world is going to throw everything it has at you. And the better you get at knocking it away, the harder it's going to throw. So it's like training. It trains you to be immune. Thank you, Maya, but no. Gee whiz, Maya, that wasn't even a good try. Maya may think, well, I thought it was going to be a great try. Well, no, it wasn't. Because here we are. You threw up something at me that you thought would make me real happy, and I ended up very disgusted. You see, I can't wait to get back to my sadhu sangha, my association with the devotees. I'm wandering around out here away from my association. And I'm looking forward to getting back where I belong. So after a certain point, this doesn't work. You may contemplate something, but you see, very soon you'll say, no, that's not for me. So, for Krishna goes on, verse 65. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So, we reverse it. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, absorbed in the regulation of principles. Principles. We have to have principles. We have to stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You gotta have a mission in your life. You gotta have a purpose. Even the psychologists agree to that. If you have a purpose in life, it extends your life. They've studied that. People that have purpose People who don't have a purpose don't have anything to live for. People with purpose have everything to live for. Have a mission, you see, a driving force. Yeah, but wouldn't you rather do? No, I wouldn't. You see, you're not, you realize someday after you practice devotional service long enough that you're not an ordinary person anymore. Why, at one time you were just the average American or the average Frenchman or whatever, you know, the average Indian. Well, I'm just like everybody else. And you probably said when you made a mistake every so often, well, heck, nobody's perfect. We might have said that, right? We were taught that. I was taught that in church. Nobody's perfect. Oh, well, then I can goof off. You know, I can make all kinds of mistakes because you said nobody's perfect. That includes me, you see. But then you learn that you're not this imperfect body. They were just trying to convince you that you are, and they did a good job of it. You fell for it. I own my body. I'm not perfect, so don't expect any high performance from me. There. I can just be a goof off. Because nobody's perfect, you see. So, but when you realize that you're not this imperfect temporary body, why, you're part and parcel. You're actual a part of Krishna. You're not Krishna. Are you? You're not Krishna, are you? Okay. I mean, you never know. He could come and, anyway, we'll keep our eyes up for him in case he shows up. So, you're not Krishna, but you are part of Krishna. Whatever Krishna is, you are too. Nothing can change that. No matter how much garbage the material world throws at you, no matter how much advertising you see or how much crap you buy, nothing can change that fact. That is an eternal fact. It's always been true. It's true today. It will always be true. In the future, you're part of God. You're made of the same stuff. You are 100% perfect. But you can goof up your consciousness. But you are pure. So the consciousness can get sidetracked when we start thinking of our own personal enjoyment rather than Krishna's personal enjoyment. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, well, I don't know if I can ever do this Krishna consciousness because I like my personal enjoyment a whole lot, you know. So, but how do we personally enjoy as parts and parcels of Krishna? How do we actually enjoy? Krishna's talking about this satisfaction here. According to Krishna, you can get satisfaction. Rolling Stones were wrong. Krishna says you can. I think Krishna's right. How do you get it? You do. Even Einstein was onto this. A life lived for the satisfaction of others, a life not lived for the satisfaction of others is useless. Of course, Einstein studied the Vedas. He really liked Bhagavad Gita. So, but that is the fact. Now that kind of flies in the face of what we've been taught all of our lives. No, I got to do for me. I got to look out for number one here. But that's not what gives pleasure to you, the part and parcel of Krishna. What gives pleasure to you is to do for Krishna, to please Krishna. Gives you great satisfaction. And to please someone else gives you great satisfaction. We have all, show of hands, we've all had that experience. When you've given pleasure to someone, when you've made somebody happy, haven't we had that experience? We felt great. And it's not just a material, warm and fuzzy, feel-good moment. You genuinely felt good. And you got a glimpse into the kind of entity that you truly are. A quick story. Sometimes we wonder, why has Krishna brought me here? You ever wonder that? I know you do. What do you want, Krishna? You know, I wasn't feeling particularly good, to make this trip to Dallas to Sadhu Sangha. But I thought, it looks like everything lined up for me to make the trip, so I'm going to do it. So I was thinking when I got there, I parked the car, I borrowed a car from some people flew me there, let me stay at their house, loaned me their car. I'm thinking, all right, Krishna, you want me here. I can't say, well, no, I can't come. I don't feel strong enough to make the drive. We'll fly you. You can stay here. Well, how would I get back? You can borrow my car. Oh, okay. I think Krishna wants me to come. So yeah, I'm there. So, and I remember when I pulled up in the parking garage of the hotel, we had the whole thing was this gigantic hotel. We had everything. It was all devotees, 100%. And so I'm thinking, what have you got on your mind, Krishna? What is it that you want? I know what I want. I want to hear Indradyumna Swami. I want to hear Sri Prahlad. I want to hear all of these wonderful kirtaneros. But what is it that you want? Because you really rolled out the red carpet for me to come here. I could not have said, I just can't do it. No, you can do it, and you will. So I was walking down the hall of this huge hotel. It's long, took forever to get in there. And so I see, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I see some folks that I knew many years ago when we were starting up the San Antonio temple. And so these devotees had 3 children, have 3 children. They were little kids at one time, and I used to tease them because I raised kids, tease kids. So now they're adults. And so, and they remember, wow, you used to tease us, you were fun, I always, made them upset and made them laugh. And so there's 3 of the 3 children that are there, and one of them has got kind of a sad look, There's 2 girls and a guy. One of them's got a real sad look. And I thought, she'd been arguing with her mother or something. Because the other 2 are like, Jivananda, you weirdo, you've always picked on us, honey, no. And she's, just sad. And so I thought, let me see if I can cheer her up. So I went over and I said, how are you? So good to see you. And she looked at me. And then I said, I always thought you were always my favorite of the 3. You were always my favorite. The other 2 are morons. You're the only one that's got any brains,